Hello, everybody. It's Charles Kemp, Mayor of Fairmont, and I was sitting around doing nothing today, and I said, "Well, why don't we just kid around with people?"
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
cloudy day outside.
absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, we want to talk to you today about youth and about young people. That's why the little fake title, "Just Kidding Around." We got a lot on our plate in 2025, and I want to go back and give you just a brief history of the youth movement as it were, in town. In 1970, carpenter teacher at Fairmont High School and I was my first full year at the high school. My first year teaching was at a middle school, elementary school at Marietta, but my first year at the high school was 70. And I got up with this guy, Charles Williamson, dear friend of mine, and we remodeled a store on Thompson Street. It's been used for different things since then, but we remodeled it and turned it into a youth center. We had a pool table in there, one of those put the quarter in.
Yeah, yeah.
We had a ping pong table. We had a back room with a couch and TV, and it was nice. And for 4 years, young people gathered there. And then I accepted a position as summer recreation director for the town of Fairmont, and I did that for 10 years, from the day school got out to the day school started back, 10 weeks. And so I had to give that up. We have not had a qualified textbook definition youth center
Yes,
in
sir.
this town since 1973. And Mr. Chestnut came here. He's doing a great job. Got a lot of money from grants and activities, things like that. And we are on the fringe, the edge of making some very powerful decisions about youth and young people
Most
in
definitely.
our town. And we've got a considerable amount of money to work with. But I'm not going to sit here today and pin down we're going to do this by a certain date and it's going to look like this and it'll have this many rooms. But we are going to move forward on the youth uh, activity center and things for young people. And I'm going to let Mr. Chestnut carry most of the load on this conversation because he knows where all the dollars are buried, and I don't. And we both have the same idea. Uh, I was thinking about this before we started filming this. Starting in 1951, when I was in the first grade, until 2026, 25, I've been around young people all my life.
Yeah, yeah.
From elementary school through high school, through college, right straight back to teaching for 44 years. I've never been around anybody all day long except young people all my life. And I understand young people. I talk like them. I act like them sometimes. Some people say I act like them too much. And so we've got to do something in the town that we live in and you work in and are devoted to for young people. So tell them what we're going to do, or as much as you can. This is
Yeah,
going to be like Christmas, folks.
yeah,
You
yeah,
don't know what's in the package
yeah.
yet.
And Miss Mayor, let me just be clear. My intentions for us and the board to figure out a way to establish a facility for our youth. One of the things that I often talk about with you and other commissioners is how can we be certain of what they want? And I think with your experience and your history with you, you're going to bring a lot to the table. And we're going to do a lot more community outreach over the next few months. Trying to bring in the kids. You have a youth team meeting coming up that's going to provide us some feedback. But things have changed so much, whereas we used to drive around our neighborhoods and we see piles of bikes outside
Absolutely.
where kids were
They didn't
playing.
have to have any organized recreation for us.
Yeah,
We made up our own stuff.
we made up our own
I
games.
killed 1 million people with tobacco sticks.
Yes, yes,
Didn't have a machine gun that made a
yes.
noise like Mattel. I had to make my own noise.
That's right. That's right. But so I think as we move forward, that'll be the biggest things that we'll have to worry about.
Right.
What is it that kids want in a facility? What are they interested in? Kids have changed a lot. My wife and I was talking last night about our youngest 14-year-old and how he's our son, but he's come up in a different world than us. with technology and things that he's like, he still get out and rides his bicycle, he still gets out and play into the woods, but how do we create space for him and the kids down the street, or kids here in the town of Fairmont, a space that is vibrant, that is fun, that is safe, where they can build relationships with each other. And that's really my biggest thing going forward, is how do we address that? How do we get them in the same space and having a safe space where they can embrace and enjoy?
What we'll have to do is do the same thing I did whenever the library was being remodeled. I went to where at the time I was working at Lakeview High School. I went into every classroom, and had them write down, every student, 350 students, had them write down. I had plenty of time because I was a volunteer, I wasn't a classroom teacher. Write down what the top 5 video games you would want on computers. They gave them all to me. I took all 350 cards, had some assistance from some folks. They took out the duplicates. I gave that to the library, and every one of those games are in those computers in our library right now.
Right.
And we're going to do the same thing with the youth center when we get around to it.
That's right.
I'll go to all the students at Fairmont High School and Fairmont Middle School, which is grades 8 through 12,
Yes, sir.
and ask them the same thing. What would you want in a youth center?
Yeah.
And it will take out the duplicates and then give that to the architect or the engineer or the planner or the builder
Most
or whatever, and the board, and we'll know what they want. And there's no good having stuff for Mr. Chestnut and I.
That's right.
I mean, that would make no sense at all.
Yeah, we'll go down there and visit,
Absolutely.
but we're not hanging out there all the time.
This is for the young people. This is for the young people.
So going forward, I think that's, one of the biggest hurdles that we'll overcome this year is, for one, establishing a facility and getting things that they want to do inside and out to make it a comprehensive youth safety, where they feel safe in a safe space. All of our kids need it. All of our kids deserve it.
We've got to have a youth center. And I'll be very honest, the greatest event in my 45-year or however long I will be in service to the town of Fairmont career will be the day that they cut the ribbon.
Most of them.
We or they cut the ribbon on the youth center.
I look forward to
that
it.
will be as the old saying goes, start a trip and come back in the same place where you started from.
Most definitely.
So I'm hoping that'll happen sooner than later. And with this man here working with him, I know he has the same dreams and the same ideas that I do.
It's a priority.
Right. So y'all hang on. We kidding around today, but we won't be kidding around forever. We will have some facility for you. Thank you.